Hey guys, it's KaguraFireCosplay here, back with my part 2 of my March reading log. So to start off, we have Kingdom Hearts 2 Volume 1 by Shiro Amano that I read March 10th, which is a retelling of the Kingdom Hearts game. Now the art style to this manga is super cute. I read it from the library, so I can't show you, but you can look it up. You have a ton of references to the first game, so if you haven't played that, it's still relevant. You do have more development of Axel and Roxas and their whole situation. You have the themes of power of memories and stuff like that. You have there's a lot of stained glasses. They're gorgeous around this book. You have Hikari remembering Sora. You have the differences between Roxas and Sora. You have Roxas and Axel's friendship, which is my favorite part of too, for sure. And you have back to main timeline versus not, and you have they also go through Beauty and the Beast in the story, and you get some kind of cute Belle Beast moments, which is not what this book is about, but it's cute. And I guess it didn't explain, but Kingdom Hearts is a video game that is Square Enix and Disney together, where you have new video game characters kind of going through different stories of Disney. So now this is the second one, which yeah, so pretty much. Then have Lovesick Ellie Volume 1 by Fujimomo from that I read March 12th. I love the series. It's one of my favorite manga series of all time. So cute. I'm obsessed with it. But so pretty much this is the story of a girl who writes all of her fantasies on an anonymous Twitter account. So she would write like these are things that I did with my boyfriend that aren't true, but hey, she doesn't false advertise. It's a fantasy account, and people are aware of that. And most of them just make fun of her, but she doesn't particularly care. But her crush is the main boy. And the main boy kind of has a secret of he's not a bad person, he's just not as bright and bubbly as people want him to be, and can come off kind of rude once you get to know him. So she finds out about that, he finds out about her account, and they make a deal to keep their lips shut. But it does lead them into a pretty cute friendship. So, I think the main thing with him is that you do understand that he's not a fantasy, he's a real person, and she kind of gets that too, and kind of gives her more confidence in her own right too. They're both lonely in different ways. She's lonely of the fact that she pretty much considers herself invisible, whereas he feels like there's someone that genuinely cares about him as a person. And their friendship is kind of based on that premise as well, but they do want to get closer and have friends and stuff. They both have insecurities too, especially Ellie, that she kind of starts to work through. You have with this book, you have some allusion to the past, some foreshadowing, and a pretty good cliffhanger. So that is Volume 1 of Lovesick Ellie. And then more of the Ever After High short stories. We have Ashlynn Ella's by Shannon and Hale that I read March 14th. So you have her secret relationship kind of going on, a little bit of that. You have her idea of predetermined love as well within the whole Ever After High universe, of how her love's supposed to be predetermined when it's definitely not who she wants to be with. And then she just wishes for her own story that would fit her rather than someone else. But yeah. And then I read After High Huntsman story by Shannon and Hale March 14th, which is her man's story. Now, I will say the writing of this particular, I love Shannon and Hale, but this particular definitely was a little bit annoying because it's definitely giving I'm not like the other boys, and it's just like okay, annoyed me a little bit, but he definitely sees Ashlynn for who she is and her kindness for who she is outside of shoes and the whole Cinderella storyline. And then I mean, he's done multiple things within being a hunter and just not the fits, and it's kind of where we leave off with him. And then I read the Ever After High Once Upon a Story collection, which just includes some of these, which all of those are read on Kindle app, and any of the other ones appear here within the story that I checked out from the library. Which I read March 14th. You do get Cedar Woods and her storyline, and she kind of has a lot of loneliness too. She doesn't really have friends because people just use her. She gets pretty heavily bullied, but I came out of this having a lot more respect for her. So you get some Dexter Charming, you get a short story with him being put into situations that is just not practical for him. You do have him and Daring's relationship and how it's definitely not the best, and just him kind of struggling through, but eventually getting through. Then you do get a darling charming story of kind of her being put in the situation of like, these are what my brothers are doing and why can't I also be doing that, because that's what she's grown up with. But you also get her and Cherry's relationship, which you don't see Cherry really at all in the show. So that's kind of nice to see. And then her and Dexter's relationship, but you also just see her kind of just vying of what she wants to do as well. Do you have a Lizzie Hearts, in which you have her with Katie a bit, which is not what you usually see as well. And then you kind of get into her regalness as well, because she is royalty and acts like royalty, but is also a villain, so she is very much on the borderline. So it's kind of fun seeing her navigate through that. And then you do have some that's specifically Kate. You have a footnote for her, where it's just very short talking about her background too. And how she kind of observes everyone. So you don't really get too much about her, more so just how she views everyone else. Just kind of different. It's interesting. And then you have the short story, The Tale of Two Sisters, which I read March 14th, and the duality of sisterhood, and kind of how stories have been broken in the past and leaning more into background of this world. It fixes some plot holes. Then I read Heartstopper Volume 2 by Alice Oseman from March 19th to 25th. And if you want a description of the first book, I've read the first book, and then you have confusion in regards to sexuality. You have one of the best quotes of all time in this book, which I won't spoil you on, but it's iconic. You have the iconic rain scene in this. You have kind of just isolating yourself from others, which is definitely not good, but you see how that can affect people. You have some pretty heavy scenes that I also can't say for spoilers, but yeah, it's great. And you have a lot of next development in this. You do have a cute Tara and Darcy moment as well, but it's very Nick focused and it's great. It's amazing. I read Kingdom Hearts 2 Volume 2 by Shiro Amano from March 21st, which is the second in the Kingdom Hearts 2 retelling. You do get some Milan rep, go through Milan, which is fun. And I think this book also has really good, just showing how Kingdom Hearts merges their lore with Disney lore. It's really great. You have the Emperor just straight up supporting Milan in this too, just being like, yes. and that's fun. Then you have Hercules, you have Meg versus Pete, like iconic mixing with Pete, which is kind of funny. You have some good Daisy and Donald moments in this. You have Merlin, we get through King Arthur. You go through some different art styles too with all this, including different Mickey art styles. You have and Mickey has a lot of just trust in this crew, and you see that a lot in this as well, which is super sweet. You have Aladdin. You can go through Aladdin's story. You have Axel's whole motive for everything in this book. You have some good Kari moments, and you get through Axel's feelings, which if you know that whole situation, it's a lot. It's sweet. Then I read Snow White by Jenni James from March 21st to March 28th, 2023, which again is continuing the other Jenni James books. But it's a new retelling of Snow White, where Snow White and her father are married into the evil queen, except for not evil, with her two children. You do, in terms of the relationship, and this one get a little bit into the sketchy territory, because it's Snow White with the brother of who she's supposed to be married into, so it's a little bit sketchy. But the sister though is her best friend, and you get a lot about her, which she's the original character, but she's definitely the best character out of this. You have how she's just kind of rejected by everyone else because of Snow White's beauty, everything like that, but just find someone to love her. But you have a bunch of red flags and a lot of different people. This also does have multiple perspectives that are not just the main couple, which is nice as well. You have the psycho mirror, that's a little bit different than the mirror that you probably know. And then, yeah, I mean, you have two different relationships, because you have Snow White and her guy, and then Raven and her guy. And then, it is fairies instead of dwarfs as well, which is kind of different. It's a little bit less creepy in that way, a little bit less sketchy, but still overall kind of sketchy. But then you have Kingdom Hearts 2, Volume 2 by Shiro Amano from March 22nd. You get Tron. We get Tron. If you know me, I love Tron, so that was fun. You have some cute goofy moments, which is always good. And then you have more Final Fantasy characters show up in this volume. Yes, Scrooge McDuck. And then get some cute Mickey and Goofy friendship moments in this. That's, I don't know, really cute, really sweet. And then more Axel moments, which is always a lot of fun. And then the next book I read was Final Fantasy VII: The Remake Traces of Two Paths by, I'm gonna butcher this, Kazushige Nojima, which I read March 25th to 28th. And I was so excited to get this book, and it lived up. I adore this with my whole heart. It's incredible. But it starts post-game, but doesn't spoil anything that could be in the second game. So it does a really good job keeping that borderline. But it gets into, obviously, the past of both Tifa and Aerith. So you get into whole Tifa's training and how she becomes a fire, which is really interesting. You get into how Cloud was bullied and her kind of shaky relationship with him, going as far back as when they were children. It never was the best. Because they both have their problems. You have Tifa's cat. Tifa has a cat. That cat's a pretty good role in this too. But that one finds the cat at one point. That's super cute. You do have a back and forth of Tifa telling the story from the past, and then full introductions of Aerith or whoever else is also listening to Tifa tell it. Same thing that you see with Aerith in the second half. You also see Cloud's relationship with cats, which if you play the game, you know that scene, so it kind of explains that a little bit more. You have Tifa's kind of idolizing of Cloud and how while they're both friends and of the same age, that's really not how they treat each other, which is, I don't know, it's something. But she definitely looks up to him in a way, but also worries about him all at the same time. And you also have like Aerith teasing everyone throughout this entire process, but it's super cute. You have Tifa's dedication with training. You have Tifa's friendship with Martel. You have a lot of good Jessie moments in this too, with Jessie's friendship with Tifa and how they've both influenced each other over the years. Because it's really something. I mean, Jessie's just the best. So we also get just Tifa's whole backstory, her death, her losing everything. Also get both Barrett and Marlene's kind of origin story in their own right, and how Tifa pretty much showed up for them. And yeah, it's just great. And that kind of covers Tifa's part. And then Aerith's is just like Tifa's is heavy, and then Aerith is just like, no, stop, please stop. And you have her idea of a picnic, which it sounds weird when I say it like that. Like, she's talking to Tifa about how the difference between when they do it versus when she was in captivity doing it, so. And then, her mother telling her to never let go of her seeing everything in a positive, happy light, which, with knowing Aerith, is definitely a lot, too. You have when Elmira takes her in, and kind of their whole relationship with that, too. You also have some explanations of certain scenes, including a certain also trying to play spoilers, but a certain scene that you might think was just a dream within the game, we learned was not if you go with Aerith's route. Do the true ending. We learned it's not actually a dream. We learned how that whole thing works with all those types of powers and stuff that I'm really trying hard to not spoil. But yeah, I mean, incredible. You also have some bigs in that section too, and kind of his backstory too, and how, I don't know, just a great guy as well. You also have a lot of the Turks and her Aerith's relationship with the Turks and kind of their shakiness, or like their understanding of each other, but also being enemies. And but I mean, she pretty much grew up with them though, so it's a lot. And then Aerith just has a lot of guilt throughout her entire childhood, and that I think we also see towards the end of the game as well. That I think we're going to see within the second game as well, just her overall guilt. You have just how truly unalive she was when she was living in the Shinra headquarters, and how different is the her we know now, but also just kind of questioning how much the her we know now is also kind of evolution. But I don't know, it's incredible. I think this book is just incredible if you want to see two incredibly strong, brave women be two incredibly strong, brave women. And it's amazing. If you like Final Fantasy, please read this. Please. Even if you don't, you can still read Tifa's without spoilers, so yeah. It's amazing. Then, if I am not mistaken, yep, the last book I read in March was Star Wars Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. I read from March 29th to March 30th that I checked out from the library. So this is following Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, as kind of just going through different political fields, but also we're kind of struggling angsty relationship in their own right. So this would be before the first episode. Qui-Gon does have an understanding that people learn differently that he definitely takes with Obi-Wan, and definitely doesn't force him into the structures that other masters do, which is good. I think we should all be aware of that people learn differently. Then you also learn more about just how that master apprenticeship works. You have the age and how even Obi-Wan was a little bit supposed to be too old, which obviously we see with the first episode with Anakin, how he was even older. But why Qui-Gon would, it makes more sense why Qui-Gon would ignore that and go ahead, considering he had success with Obi-Wan, and why Obi-Wan would be okay with taking in Anakin. You have so despite Qui-Gon having a good understanding of how people learn, I think he definitely just doesn't understand how teenagers work for the most part, because there's definitely points where he needs to have communication with Obi-Wan and just doesn't. And that's kind of frustrating. But, you do get character drama kind of getting sidelined for the politics for a while, which I'm more invested with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan than that, so that was a little bit boring to me. But if you like that type of political drama, then there's plenty of that. But you have Obi-Wan's guilt in a few places, but I don't know. I mean, overall, I'm happy with them talking, communicating healthily. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's Star Wars, so. But yeah, so that was everything I read in March. So next we got April, which I am recording this April 30th. So we're gonna have all of that pretty soon. So until then, bye.